Here for you is a continuation of the weekend special part of the story, coming to you from where we had left off last weekend. Note, this story is told from a Carib-Jamaican perspective in a richly blended language mix of Jamaican patois, nonsense talk, and sensational spellings sometimes. Yes, wordplay is the order of the day around here. So now, here for you is the story. Meanwhile, as a baby daddy wannabe on one leg of my journey, spent way too many wasted hours in traffic jamming. Yes, they were all around me, across the city, town, and the country. Construction work was what they said to me that day. Yes, it's what's going on out there on the motorway, even now. We are building up the city and remaking it shiny and new. Like what? Like Oh Little Genie? Yes, because they are so in love with me. And yes, you too. Then they go off polishing my shoe with what was dropping from above my kid's knee. And you? The greatest truth behind all of this, though, my youth man picnic, is you and I never got to see it through to the end of the quiz. We are always too busy worrying about the next cup of tea and about when next our favorite artist will be featured on TV, like whilst doing a super gig somewhere over there in Tel Aviv. Yes, my cousin Vivian. Go tell that guy named Vivian he's making mischief with me and he needs to stop it. So, the streets across this town remained in lockdown with orange cones, heavy-duty machinery, and concrete blocks all around. So you are forced to turn around and go back home to stay in lockdown behind the doorstep and listen to rock and roll. Rocking your nerve, yes, whilst rolling over the ancestors' graves to yet more crops on which to get them sold on the sale. Selling them and all the virtues of getting them saved, yes, whilst reminiscing about the good old days, those that other folks liked to call days in those days. The good times you used to have or not, like when you could have gone wherever you want and went out watering the garden to the fullest length and attending to the plants, then turned your attention to tending the sheep, hogs, and the laying hens, whilst waiting around for another batch of chicks to come to the hatch, so that your fabulous breeds of high-ended chickens may survive and become something great like this and that in their systematic mechanical tic-tac chick. Yes, miss. Flip my dipstick and check it out. Thank you. I've always loved the way how you do these things whenever you do, making your name great and not remaining as dumb things sometimes taste. Yes, hiss and head shake, but make haste. You can always do it whilst dumping the dumplings on the plate. Honey and the sardines will taste it up great. But wait, perhaps not, because others are working hard at putting it to a stop, to this one over here and that, and to where you are allowed to go and park the jackar's cart whenever you go across town where you had wanted to go and play domino or come. They are out busily putting a stop to that one, my son, trying to stop you and yours from going outdoors every day and everything you thought that you have got locked down and secured too, okay? Although you can't ever seem to be able to see any such sneak attack pointed at me from your door way back, because You are too blinded for trying to fit into that line dead. And in this one too, as I was just reminded by, guess who? Yes, forcing too hard to fit into the sockbox of their played out cards. The ones they are giving you to flip-flop and walk past, little miss. Oh Lord, you had said, I don't deserve this. I know, was my reply as I had promised. And how about you, Mr. Brown? Weren't you the one who was last seen on the way out of town, trying to go and walk the many million manly miles up? How was it done? As if you wanted to get all the way up north as a start, no? Yes, to go and farm yet more 40,000 crops of sheep grass than those in the fields of crockpots, my sweetheart, no? Yes, packed to the brim and sold off, thinking that you would then be able to sit down and relax and count your multitude of many blessings one by one, spreading it all over the furrowed grounds and the fertile field lands. You know, yes. Well, I'm just guessing this one, so let's continue to sit down and talk about this, man. Like, when you are old and your many children are grown, bold, yes. In the meantime, though, we know of a place where you can go, a place where the people over there want our labor, do you hear? Yes, as much of it as they are able to squeeze out of us before we go off on a binge through the doors, to go and meet the Savior in the dome house once more. Yes, that same one with way too many rooms behind each closed up doors, hinged on my many mansions in the sky. Yes, Miss Fly, that is why. We'll move these obstacles around and out of the way a tiny bit, they say, like off to one side of the freeway to free up your pathway for 5 working days a week, okay? So that you may be able to squeeze your way and go through or come in June, bringing your labor like the real wonderful blessings that they are to us and them, and yes, him too. Not you though, no my friends, won't do so. But those who are ours, our realest of friends walking barefooted towards the cowards, squared and crooked. But as soon as you are done doing that, be sure to go back home and sit down. We don't want to have you driving around out here in any of your beautiful automobiles, do you hear? Certainly not whilst having any of your many wonderful babies beside you at the wheel. Oh dear, was what I heard next. Not even if you were trying to go and see the others with whom you have already made a pledge and signed the deal. No. These concrete blocks and the piles of hard-boiled cushions will be piling it up on your boneless horse at the bottoms for us, while we stand aside and look. Ooh, some days it's just the smarts of us who are left gazing at you whining and cursing out our guts. Tough luck. I'm sure that you didn't mean to interfere in our domestic affairs, sir, you had said. But what this in fact does is, it prevents me from going over to see my lover to try and lend her some more of my love under the covers. So, disclaimer is what I'll name her because it's a tool that I'll use to inform you and anybody else that I may run into not to try and use any of these unacceptable views. No, please, don't do it. Not any of those that didn't come to me by way of the authentic authorities such as you and your tubes, schools, or the books of rules. So, since I'm not allowed to think freely, figure things out, or deduct a thesis from the narratives and the theories. Those that are fed with biscuits over tea. Really? Yes. You would be better off dead, they had said, by laying no claim to whatever may be found on this page. Well, so you might have heard it said somewhere down there in the watersheds of the KDs, but thank God and deliver and not delight was what I said on that very night. As you can probably tell, I'm all cried out now and running scared as well. And now, the poet has spoken. Over to you to like, share, and comment. We sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe and follow us somewhere too. Thank you.